Having a successful nonprofit means making an impact, but without a strong online presence, it can be really challenging to connect with supporters, donors, and volunteers. A professional website is the key to spreading your message, increasing your donations, and building credibility. Without one, you risk missing out on opportunities to expand your reach and making a real difference. So today, I'll guide you through creating a nonprofit website that effectively communicates your mission, engages your audience, and drives action. Plus, I'll share the #1 mistake that most nonprofits make and how to fix it in just a few minutes. The first step in building your nonprofit website is choosing the right website platform. And while there are many options available, my top recommendation is Wix. And I have over a decade of experience in creating different websites, but I can confidently say that Wix is the best choice for nonprofits. It's incredibly user-friendly, mobile optimized, and offers everything that you need, such as donation pages, event calendars, volunteer sign-up forms, and even impact reports to run your nonprofit online. And the best part, Wix is completely free to try, so you can start building your site without any upfront costs. So to begin, go ahead and click on the link right here, or check out the link in the description. Now, by using that link, you're not just starting your website, you're also supporting me and this channel, and I truly appreciate that. So let's go ahead and click on that now, and I'll walk you through this whole process. Okay, so assuming that you clicked on the link, we're going to be brought to this page here. What we want to do is put in your email address and then just click on Start Now. Then it's going to bring you into this page, and it just wants you to input your information, so we'll input that. You can also, you see on the right side, continue with Google or Facebook. If you want to, you can do that. I just prefer to do an email. I think it's easier. So we'll go ahead and click on Sign Up. And the next page here, who you creating your website for, we're going to click on For Myself, My Business, or a Friend. And then it brings you up into here. So this is actually something important. So you want to have this AI chat, with AI, right? You want to have this chat. And the reason is because it'll actually kind of customize the look of your site and customize the content that you have on the site itself. So let's go ahead and click on Start Chat. So first tell me what your site is all about. And I just put, I have a nonprofit that I want to make a website for. So go ahead and click Next. Then it asks, what is the name of your nonprofit organization? And I just put my own, Ronnie's nonprofit. My name's Ron, so I'll just put Ronnie's nonprofit, but obviously put your own. And that says, can you share what type of content you plan to have on your website or any specific features that you need? So here we want to write a few different things that will kind of trigger the AI to understand what we're doing. Okay, so I just put, I need the following pages: homepage, about, programs/initiatives, volunteer, donate, contact, and a blog page to showcase our impact as a nonprofit. So we'll go ahead and click enter there. And then it asks, do you have any additional goals or specific functionalities in mind for your website, such as event management, newsletter signup, or member login? And I think I'm going to say yes to the first two, not necessarily for a member login. I just don't see a reason to have a member login, but definitely we do want to have event management and newsletter signups. So I put event management and newsletter signups sound good. No need for a member login. And then it says you are all set. So we'll go ahead and click on Go to Dashboard. And as you click that, it's going to take a second to kind of build everything out for you, which is fine. Just give it a minute. Okay, and once you are in, you are brought into this page here. So this is what they call a content management system, or the CMS. This is basically the administrative portal of the site. So you people who visit the site, they'll never see this. This is for you as the administrator to actually kind of manage everything on the site. But what we want to do here, I don't want to focus on this too much. We'll come back to this in a minute. I want to focus on designing a site and getting a site up as quick as possible. So let's go ahead and do that. So on the top right here, we'll click on Design Site. And next we're brought to this page here. So how would you like to design your website? So customize a template or generate a design with AI. Now, just so that you understand, when people build websites, most of them are on a template. So basically you get a templated site, you get a version of a site that looks good. And then what you do is you customize it, right? You put in your own images, your own colors, your own fonts, change it up as much as needed, and you have your own nonprofit site. That's what most nonprofits do. That's super, super common. So don't feel weird about doing that. The other option is to generate a design with AI, which sounds good, but personally, I've done that quite a few times. I have not gotten the desired results. So I always elect, at this point in time, to pick a template. I just feel like it's a better way of doing it. So we're gonna go ahead and pick a template there. And then we're gonna put nonprofit up here. Pick a website template that you love. We'll put nonprofit. And then what we wanna do is we wanna look at 3 different themes or 3 different sites, templates to see which one we actually like. So as you see here, as we put nonprofit, there's quite a few different charity organizations, nonprofits that we can choose from, a bunch of different versions. Remember, you're looking at the skeleton of the site, right? Every one of these you can technically use for a nonprofit, okay? Every one of these sites. So basically looking at it, if you look and you're like, oh, this one has an impact on me or this one looks best, that's really what you want to go with. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to choose 3 randomly. I'm going to choose this one. I will choose this one and we'll do this one. So I think those 3 are nice looking sites. We'll go ahead and close these out. Again, we can adjust the images. We can adjust everything, but this basically shows you the 3 different versions that we can choose, or the 3 different ones that I think look best. But take your time. I'd say just choose 3 different templates. Don't get too into the weeds and then choose all these different ones, just because usually 3, you just want to really get started on this. You don't need to look at 20 different templates to decide the best one. So this is the first one that we have here. It's obviously a female-oriented nonprofit. In this particular instance, I'm just going to say that we have we help homeless people as a nonprofit. Totally generic example. I don't have any nonprofits myself, so we'll say that. We'll say that we're not necessarily focused 100% towards women or focused really on women. So in my case, I don't know that this is really the best theme, though I will say this is actually a really good theme. I think this is or template, I should say. I think this is really nice. They have the latest news here. Our mission events, get involved. I actually love the design of the site. I think it's really good. It's just not for us. So I'm going to close that one out. We've got this one here. This was kind of interesting. It reminds me kind of a newspaper in a way, but it's so small. It's kind of a little bit different. It's kind of like a small site. I don't know that I love it or not, but we'll just say, okay, maybe on that one. Then we'll go to this next one here, protect our wildlife. Okay, so this one is pretty cool, but this one is mostly on wildlife, but I actually really like the design here because we've got the login, the donate, the take action menu. We can go deep into everything. I actually love the skeleton, if you will, of this more than I like the skeleton, if you will, of this. So I'm going to say this is the one that we're going to go with. And again, I'll just be focusing on like helping homeless people nonprofit. So you can see, this is wildlife, but we can adjust it to focus on more homeless people. So let's click on edit this site. And after you click on edit the site, it takes a minute. It starts to kind of set some things up in the background. So basically just let it do what it needs to do and just give it a minute to set everything up. Okay, and now you can see it is actually set and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and click right here just to make it 100%. And you can see it actually added and adjusted some text. It didn't adjust the images so much. Mostly just wildlife on here, which is fine, right? But I didn't really tell it necessarily that we were focused on helping homeless folks. So probably should have mentioned that in the AI discussion, but it's okay. For what it is right now, this is basically the site, which is good. I think this is good. We're going to edit the homepage. Before we do, I just want to go back into the CMS really quick so that you can actually understand, and you just do need to understand how that works to get all this. So we're going to go back to the dashboard here. Okay, so going back into the CMS here, just like I said, I just want to walk you through this real quick. Then we'll go to the homepage and the actual design. So the CMS is, like I said, the administrator portal, and this is basically where all the different things in the back end that you need to know about are here, right? Also note that they have a 50% off deal. I don't know exactly when you're watching this, if they'll still have it or it may change. But one thing that is nice is that 50% deal because it gives you a recommended domain, right? So I'll show you real quick. If we actually click to design the site, right? And we publish the site, I'm going to show you what your domain looks like. Okay, so we'll click on publish real quick. And if you publish right out of the gate, we're going to click on view site. Technically, anyone can go to your website at this point because it is live, it is public. But for me, you can see it's really weird. It's my last name, 128.wixsite.com/Ronnie. And then also I have this little ad up here. If you get an actual custom domain, which, like I said, they have a 50% deal off, you can get rid of that whole thing. And you can actually have a custom domain like, Ronnie Nonprofit .org is what I could get here, which would be great, right? So they do include that in the first year. So no pressure on it or anything. I just want to let you know that it's nice to get rid of all that, which, if you want to appear professional, you definitely do want to. So consider that. But I'm talking about the CMS here, just going back into this. So the CMS is going to be all the different things you need to know. So we've got the setup here. Obviously, you'll want to go through that. Home, if you need to get home. Getting paid. So this is actually nice. If you have any proposals or invoices, things like that you need to keep track of, and different links for people to pay. You can have that here. You can also, this is where you can do the donation section too. So if you want to get donations, this is a way to manage that, is under getting paid. Events, this is if you want to have like event calendar, which I know a lot of nonprofits do because do a lot of community events, etc. You can put all that information here. Sales, this is really if you get into like gift cards and things like that, but just orders in general, it'd have all your information there. Catalog, this also dives deeper into the donation section, and we'll break it out a little bit, but this gets a little bit further into that. Blog, if you want to, so I see a blog with nonprofits. You can have a blog talking about your impact and what you want to do, but I think more along the lines of kind of success stories and showing how the nonprofit is involved with community is really the play there. So a blog, if you want to have that, I assume you do, I would definitely advise that you do. Apps, so if you want to, if there's any, like this is nice if you need functionality on your site that isn't there yet. So for instance, if you wanted a live chat where someone can always chat with someone live, you can actually just add an app really quick to the back end of your site and it'll just work, right? That's actually nice. Instead of hiring an expensive developer, all this other stuff, this just lets you do it that way, which is great. Site and mobile app. So this is kind of like the back end advanced stuff. Website and SEO, mobile app, logo and brand. If you don't have a logo yet, they'll help you with that. And then this hop link in bio, this is like a social media thing, but just some extra functionality there. Inbox. So if anybody submits contact forms, it'll be held in here for you. Customers and leads, records of all that information. Marketing, we won't dive deep into that in this tutorial, but if you want to get into marketing and social media, all that information there. Analytics, which is nice because it'll let you see what people are doing on your site once you actually have it built and have told people about it. You could tell where they went and the different pages, etc. And then automations. This is a great way to do a little bit more advanced automation stuff, but it's, some good functionality. We won't dive too deep into it, but it is good functionality. And then setting CMS and developer tools. Again, advanced stuff that you don't need to worry about right now, but it is all there. So that all said, let's go ahead and go back into here. And what we want to do is really focus on the design of the homepage. Your homepage is the first impression that visitors get of your nonprofit, so it needs to be compelling and mission-driven. Clearly state your organization's purpose, showcase powerful images that reflect your work, and include a strong call to action that encourages visitors to donate, volunteer, or learn more about your cause. Okay, so let's talk about the homepage here. Now, again, I actually like the look of the homepage a lot. That's one of the reasons why I chose the theme. Granted, we have to change images. Text, I actually like the text. We can change the text if we want. One of the first things that I do anytime that I'm starting a site, you can always click on preview right here. And if you click on preview, it'll actually show you what the live site is like as people are going through it, right? And you can also just actually publish the site as well, as I already did. But right now it's kind of neat because what you could do is you click on preview and then you can click on the little buttons and actually see exactly what it leads to, right? And the different things that it actually will lead to for the end user. Now, first thing you want to do when you are getting into a site and actual design is focus on just basically designing one page or one area at a time. So the first thing we want to do here is we've got the header and the footer. So that's going to be on pretty much every page, right? There's a header, footer. And then in the middle of that is the uniqueness to every page, right? So you can see here, this header right here is a navigation to where all the links are. This is the footer down here. This is going to have all your social media information, forms, contact us, etc. Right now it's missing the forms. We'll add those, don't worry. So let's first focus on that and make sure that we actually have everything built out properly there. Because it's really important that we have all this right. Now, the first thing is I don't see a need for the login bar. I just don't fully understand. Your nonprofit, there may be a situation where you need this. You can leave this if you want it. I don't think that there's a need for it, so I'm actually going to delete this. Okay, so that's now gone. And then we have the donate now, which obviously is very important for a nonprofit. We're going to keep that. Take action, or I guess you could say like volunteer. So I understand why both these are here. We're not going to touch those. And then we've got the menu here. So let's actually go ahead and click and look at the menu itself. Okay, so we want to edit the menu here. This theme in particular is a little bit weird because if you click, usually you could just see the menu when you click. This one's a little bit different because the menu is a light box. So it gets a little technical, but basically all that we need to do is go up here. Okay, so now that we're in here, we can see, so it has actually about what we do, who we are, events, news, and contact. Those are the main things. But it also already has donate now and join us. So this is the volunteer stuff. This is the donation stuff. And then all your social media too. I actually think it's a very, very solid navigation, right? I don't really see a lot that we would want to actually add to here. I think it's actually pretty much perfect as is. So I'm just going to keep it exactly as it is. And we should be good there on the navigational standpoint. Here, if you want to adjust, so the logo, things like that, this is kind of the cool thing. So the deal with Wix, one of the things I like, if you don't like something, just click delete. It's gone. So now we've got this, right? And let's say that we wanted to, we have a logo that works. We can just change this. Let's say that our logo is this weird thing. Instead, we can just change it to this. You can upload an image, whatever you want to do. And if you want to resize it, you just click and drag. It's really easy, which is one of the things I just love about Wix, because this clicking and dragging, which seems so easy here, it's actually not like that with a lot of sites. You have to get into the coding. And this just isn't like that. So we'll just leave that as is, but it's, definitely something that's pretty cool is the way that works. Now that's the header. That's all taken care of. Now I want to scroll down to the footer. And this is basically an email sign up right here, right? Get the latest news and updates. So if you want people to join your newsletter, that's what they're really going for here. And then the contact page is a little bit different. So we're going to click on edit form here. And this is the contact page. And what we're doing here is we want to just make it so that if people want to contact us, it's easy. So we'll just put first name, last name, email, and then we will want to put long answer. Okay. Long answer, we're going to change to how can we help you, right? We have that. And we've got the first name, last name, email, and how can we help you? You could add phone number too, but the key is with all this, you don't want to add too many different fields because you just want people to basically submit something. So we'll click on save here. And it's like, okay, now we have that form, but it's not actually implemented yet. Click on settings and we will do my form right there. So that is going to be all set up. So now we've got a contact us in the footer. That's all done. And then we'll scroll up a little bit. So we've got this other form here. So this is where you can add another type of form. So edit form. This is not going to be the same type of form. This is basically where we just want people to go in and join our email list is basically what we're getting. So the first name, their last name, and their email. We don't want to leave them a form to submit anything. Just something like this would be fine. And there's some options that you want to click around and kind of add a little bit to there, but this will give you kind of the idea. We click into here, settings, and now we want to use this form. That's the second form. There we go. And we are all set. Now it's a little bit weird because you can see the spacing is a little bit off. So let's actually just take this and move it down just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that form is good now. So join the movement, get the latest news and updates. We've got that. And then we get the contact form. That's all set up. The footer, obviously you can go into here. You can literally just click and whatever information you need to add, you just add it here. It's not that hard. In terms of actually adding social links, you click on set social links. And then you actually adjust all the social links right then and there. Really easy to do that as well. Again, it's mostly just point and click. So the text, if you're like, oh, well, this is just, I didn't even mean to do that. But if you're like, this is too small, I don't necessarily like it, just click on edit text and we can then make it, size 18 or whatever it may be. Just make it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, and you'll be all set to go. So it's really simple to actually edit all this and adjust it all as needed. But at this point, we would have the header, the navigation, the header all the way up here taken care of. And now we have the footer all taken care of. So really what we need to do now is focus on the homepage. So I'm not going to sit here and spend an hour actually designing this homepage and adjusting it. But what I will do is I will show you functionality. So the first things first, this image doesn't work, right? Because we focus on, again, homeless people. So we're going to click on change background. We're going to click on image. Actually, we could do image or video. Let's do video. And let's just search for homeless and see if there's anything that comes up. Let's search people on street. And I don't know that I necessarily see one that really signifies what I want, but I just want to show you something that's kind of cool with these videos. It actually can be pretty good. Let's just go. Okay, so let's select this one here. It says happy friendship. I don't know if this is the right one, but you get the point. It just has some actual images that go along with it. And now, you'd have to probably adjust this and change it. We can't really have a black color because it's kind of a dark background. So welcome to Ronnie's Nonprofit, right? We change the text color, etc. But what this does is if we click on preview, you can see it actually makes the site look pretty cool, right? So if these were homeless people, they're not, but if they were, right, it'd be a good way of kind of showcasing what it is that you do. And you can adjust the images as needed throughout. So there's actually some pretty cool functionality there. Now I do want to show you that's just changing images. So let's focus on this image now, right? I don't even know exactly what that thing is, but let's go ahead and change the background here, and we're going to change it to a different image. So this one, we're just going to do man sad and see if anything comes up. This would be one here, but what I want to do is show you the functionality again. So instead of doing this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an AI image creator. So this is actually pretty cool. We're going to describe your image, and then we're actually going to make a photo of it. So I like this AI image creator because these images, you don't owe anything to anybody when you create an image with AI, right? Because it's created by AI. So you don't have to pay anything to actually use it. Now, the one that I showed you, the video I showed you, that's all free to use. And there are free to use ones here on Wix. But some of them, if you go into Shutterstock, for example, it does actually cost money. So let's go ahead and create an image real quick. And I just put a homeless man sitting outside on a park bench. We're going to do a photo, and we're going to click on create an image. Now you may think like, oh no, these images won't be good. They actually are usually pretty good. You may have to regenerate them a few times, but there's some pretty good ones. This one's not bad, right? This one isn't bad. His face is a little bit weird looking. So we'll create again. I'm just going to do it twice just so you can kind of see. But it is cool to be able to use or to create images that are going to be unique to your site. Okay, so we'll do this. Again, his face is actually even a little bit worse on this, but we're going to say that this image is good, right? And it really isn't because the bench is all messed up. But for the sake of argument, you could always just create more images, but we'll just say that this one's good, right? We're going to go ahead and click on save, put that up. We'll choose that as a background, and voila. Now we have this image of this guy who's sitting on this bench, this homeless individual sitting on a park bench. And then we would just go ahead and then be able to do that. This text is definitely a little bit too big in my opinion. So let's make that, there we go, a little bit smaller. So you can see how you can easily adjust all this, right? All these images, everything you need to adjust. It's really as simple as just kind of clicking and adjusting as you go. The homepage, for the most part, looking at this from a nonprofit perspective, right? What does it do? Well, it has this is protected areas. We would maybe want to change this, right? People housed, 100,000 people housed. I would say probably make this a little bit smaller, right? It's at 110. Let's bring it down to 82. And then we would just, do this 1,200. Again, we'll make it the same size. Volunteers engaged. You get the point, right? I'm not going to sit here and adjust all these, but you can adjust all this stuff. So it actually looks pretty good. I like how they have the about section here. I just like the stats. I think that's always big for nonprofits. Having all the stats, I think is good. About Ronnie's nonprofit, talk about that. Projects and campaigns. I think this is good how they feature it here and support us. That probably leads to a donation link. How can you make a difference? This looks like probably a volunteer link here. Stay informed. This is kind of, they're reading the blog or the pages like that. Meet our dedicated team. So if you want to have your about page featured, that's a good place for that. And then upcoming events, which is big. So this has all the different upcoming events, and it has here for buying tickets, which is pretty cool. And they can actually buy them online directly. Latest news, this is actually the blog in disguise. That's what this is. Talking about different events, and then join the movement to join our email list, and then contact and that. So I think right now this is a good homepage. Obviously it's not done, but I think this is a good start to what would actually be applicable to a nonprofit to help you in your mission. Next is the About Us page, and this is where you tell your story. So share why your nonprofit was created, the impact that you strive to make, and the core values that drive your mission. Highlight key members of your team and any partnerships or recognitions that boost your credibility. This really helps build trust with potential supporters and donors. And next, we want to go to the About page. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and go up here where the home is, and we'll click on About, right? And we go into here, and this is actually about Ronnie's nonprofit, talks about what it is, what we're offering. Again, we change the image, we probably change some text here, our approach, right? Wildlife challenges for this. Again, more images, partners, if you have them. I like this. The one thing I don't like about this is that it's not focused enough on staff. So what we could do is we can actually just click add a section about, well, you know what? Hold on. Before I do this, let's actually check if the menu has our team. Hold on. Click on menu. Yeah, they really have who we are, which is kind of about our team. Okay, so forget what I was saying there. So for the most part, I would say that the about page is really good. I like this. I think that the, who we are would be a little bit different. Let's click on preview here, right? And what we're going to do is we're actually going to click into the menu and we're going to click who we are. Where does that lead to? We have to actually check this. Okay, so this leads to the About Ronnie's Nonprofit, and it has the dedicated team. So this is actually really good as well. This is kind of what I was envisioning for an About page. So the way they have this set up is when they click About, they really learn more about the organization and not so much about the staff or the team, which is totally fine. I like this approach. I think that it looks good. You can show all the different things that the nonprofit is involved in. I think it looks really nice. And it really focuses on the calls to action, which are, hey, join our movement, donate now, take action, etc. And then we can also get into the team later. We don't really have to focus on that now. But overall, I think that this is a really good page that focuses on the nonprofit. And one thing I'll say is if you want to have the About page to where it also focuses on the staff, and it really depends on, how you want to do it, right? Because they kind of have the Meet the Team page in addition to this. So they have the About, and then let me go back into the menu. So they have About, what we do, which is the mission, and then who we are. And really who we are is kind of a part of the About page, right? It's just the individual part of it. So what we can do is we can go into here and we can say, okay, we need more about who the team is, right? So we're going to put into here, we're going to add a header, and we'll just click here, meet the team, right? So we'll go ahead and do that. Click and drag this over. Okay, so meet the team. And then we will do just a generic button. I'm going to do, there's a million different ways to do this, but I'm going to do a button right here. We would change the button to say, see our staff or meet our staff, whatever it may be, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to link that to who we are. Okay. So now what this is going to do, and again, this is poorly designed, right? I would spend more time if I was doing this, but making the button bigger, etc. Now what happens is, we'll publish this. When people come to this page, they basically, and I think this is kind of a better way to do it anyway. So they can come in here if they're in the About page, right? About Ronnie's Nonprofit. And then you got Meet the Team. They click on See Our Staff, and it'll actually explain more about who the staff is, right? I think it's a good way. It's kind of weird the way they design this because they have really About and who we are kind of the same thing, but they separate into two different pages. I don't think it's bad. I like how they made the About really focused on the nonprofit itself, but that's how you could actually set it up. There's also other things that you could do if you wanted to in the About section. So if you just decide, you know what, I don't want to do any of this, and I just want to bring all the About section, the team to the About section, you just click into here, click on About, and we can, let's see here. Let's just say click and drag this over, right? We do this, and then you can see this is a version where, this is like the CEO or I should say the founder of the nonprofit. So you could do that too. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it, but the point is that they have them separated. So this is kind of a way to kind of bring it together. Your programs and initiatives page should outline the work that your nonprofit does. So whether you provide community outreach, educational services, or environmental conservation, make sure to break it down into sections with clear descriptions so that the reader really understands it. Also include success stories, statistics, or testimonials to illustrate the real-world impact of your efforts. So next, programs and initiatives. Really, it's the what we do page, right? So we have to work within the theme. This is what we do. Again, it talks about the programs and initiatives, all the different things that we're involved in. Obviously, I'd adjust the text because we don't do any environmental stuff. I adjust the images. I don't want to do that here because your time is valuable, but you get the point. I would go into here, I would adjust everything and change it to where it's relevant to my nonprofit. And then also they have here, take action. I don't know what this, I always have to look. So when they click on take action, where does that bring them? Oh, that brings you into them into the actual volunteering stuff, which is cool. So we've got that right there if you do want it. If you don't want that, that's no big deal, right? I would advise that you do actually keep that. I think that's a really good way to get people involved. So we'll go back to what we do here. So we've got that. So a good way to keep that, how to get them involved, and then join the movement. Again, join the email list, contact us, etc. Again, I think it's pretty simple. I think it's pretty straightforward. I think this is actually very good. I don't know that we really need to adjust much on the page aside from the text, obviously, and you can change it to whatever you want, but I think this is a really well-designed page, lays everything out really clearly, and really pushes for them to volunteer and not just donate, right? Which is key, because if you're just pushing for money all the time, people get a little bit leery. But if you're pushing for volunteer, then getting involved is really good as well. Next is the Get Involved page. And people want to know how they can support your nonprofit. This page should provide them with clear options for engagement, such as volunteering opportunities, fundraising events, corporate sponsorships, and even advocacy initiatives. Make it as easy as possible for people to take action by including sign-up forms and links to additional resources directly on your site. Okay, next is the Get Involved page, which is on here, the Take Action page. We actually just saw it for a minute there. But this page, again, it should be just talking about getting them involved and into what we're doing. Upcoming projects, it's got all those highlighted, which is pretty cool. Some of the different things coming up. Making an impact. Again, this is probably where you add maybe a different contact form, or you can just use the form that you already have. But this is where you would add a form, and you would just basically make it so that people can actually reach out to you and discuss with you and actually get involved and make an impact. That's really the goal of this page. The goal of this page is to get them to donate their time and actually get involved with everything that you're doing. So this, and then also here, this is join the movement, get the latest news and updates. It's a little bit confusing, but this is going to be where they can join the email list, the newsletter list, which is big. And then we have the contact page down here too. So I think this is good. I think this is a way to do it. The reason why they had a separate form, maybe it does make sense to do a totally new form here. And we just do a form that says, volunteer inquiry or something like that. So people can actually go in, fill out their volunteer inquiry, and when it comes to you, hey, this is actually somebody trying to volunteer. You can adjust that as needed. But it's neat that they have all this kind of broken out. I like the way it is. If you wanted to add more to it, you can obviously add different sections and everything else. But I do like how they're kind of talking about the different projects and things that are coming up. I think this is good. I think your blog can actually serve to help with this too, to get more volunteers. Because the more that you tell people about what you're doing, the more likely they will want to volunteer if they like your mission. So yeah. And then there's the donate page. So a well-designed donation page is crucial for any nonprofit. You want to make sure that it's easy to use, visually appealing, and highlights why donations are needed. Offer multiple donation options as well, such as one-time gifts, recurring donations, and even matching gifts. Secure payment integrations through Wix will make it simple for supporters to contribute if they're interested. Next is a donation page. So we will go into the donate page. And this one, obviously, a very big one. In-person donations, if you want to do that. Donate now. You can actually have the frequency, everything. You can have it where they're donating monthly, auto, on auto, things like that. It is totally possible to do all that within Wix, which is pretty cool. So you can actually just click on add a new campaign. And donations, they have a whole module built out for donations, which is really, really big. So you can actually do the different intervals, donation amounts, recommendations, all that stuff. Notes from donors, if you want them to add their own notes, which I would advise. I think it's good. But this is a great way to actually manage all of your donations and make it so that it's constantly coming in. So it's really cool. Again, it's in the CMS, the content management system on the back end. But there's a lot of different ways that you can go in here and then just basically make it so that people are constantly donating to you and just have it so it's all online, which is really, really neat. And, they can actually do all that and it'll process everything and just make it really easy for you as a nonprofit to get this stuff going. So next time anyone's like, hey, I got to make a donation, you just say, oh, no problem. Just go on our website. You can donate right there. And it's already going to be all set up, right? And it'll just connect to a bank account, et cetera. So really, really make it easy. This can get really complicated from a development standpoint, but Wix has made this really easy. And then we have the contact page. So you want to ensure that potential donors, volunteers, and partners can reach you easily. So your contact page should feature a simple form, an email address, a phone number, and links to your social media platforms. If you have a physical office, consider including a map for easy navigation as well. Next is a contact page. Now this is a little bit strange with the nonprofit, right? You want to have a contact page, but we already have that all over the site, right? We have a donate now link. We have the take action link, so if they want to volunteer. We also have on the bottom of every page, we have a contact us already here on every page. We have the newsletter right here on every sign up. We actually also have this live chat, which we don't need, but if you want that, you can keep it. I just deleted it. So we actually have the contact page itself. I don't think that it really makes sense to build out with this theme anyway, a direct new contact page. It just doesn't really make sense to me because we have all these different ways that they can reach out. And most nonprofit sites will probably be structured this way. So it's okay to not have a contact page directly, so long as you have all these other pages which are, soliciting your donations, your volunteers, and basically getting it so that if they have to contact you for questions, they can, which I think this site has all that. So the next page is optional, but I like it, right? It's either a blog or an impact stories page, right? So this will allow you to share updates, highlight community successes, and keep supporters engaged. So whether you're showcasing a recent project, publishing donor spotlights, or just providing educational resources related to your cause, this section, it helps reinforce your nonprofit's credibility, and it'll also boost your website's search ranking in search engines. And the next page here we want to talk about is the blog page. So this is kind of interesting. I just want to kind of show you. So when we click on preview right here, this is going to be, so if we go to here, click on menu, and then we go to news. This is technically going to be the blog page, right? It is latest news, and it has a feed of all the different blog page or blog posts that have been published. So we're clicking back to editor here. Now this, when we click into it, we click on manage posts. This brings you back into the CMS, the content management system, the administrator portal. And here is where you actually write your posts. So this is important to know because as events happen and as your nonprofit does certain things and you want to write about it because you want people to know about it, you just go up here and you create a new post. And then when you actually click in, I'll just click on edit on one of these that already exists. You will see there will be something like this. This is where the title is. This is the text. You can have your images in here as needed, more text, etc. I mean, it kind of is like a Word document, right? It's really easy to adjust as needed. But it's a really cool way. And then every time you publish something, it'll actually be on the top of the feed in the blog. So it's, they say latest news here. I think with this theme, latest news makes perfect sense for nonprofits. But I would definitely recommend that you have a blog page just because you have something like this. And it's going to make it really, really easy for people to know what your nonprofit is up to. And you need someone to keep this up to date. And then obviously you can take those stories, you publish them, you push them out to social media, you tell everyone about them, and that really helps get the word out. So congrats, you have officially made it. If you followed everything in this tutorial, you now have a fully functional nonprofit website. And while there will always be tweaks and improvements to make along the way, you've really built a strong foundation to amplify your mission and connect with supporters worldwide. This website, it'll give you the visibility and the credibility that you need to grow your impact. Oh, and remember that major mistake that I mentioned earlier? Well, spoiler alert, it's not about the website itself, okay? So the number one mistake that most nonprofits make is not utilizing email marketing effectively. Many assume that, once someone visits the site, they'll immediately donate or, sign up for volunteer. But that's not always the case. Supporters often need multiple touch points before they actually take action. And email marketing, it helps keep your nonprofit top of mind. So you want to collect emails through your contact and your donation forms, and then send automated follow-ups with inspiring stories, upcoming events, and ways for people to get involved. A well-crafted email can turn a casual visitor into a long-term supporter. Now, to simplify this, I recommend using Brevo, which integrates seamlessly with Wix, and it makes automated email outreach a breeze. So you can check out the link for that right here to go ahead and try it for free, or the link in the description as well. Your nonprofit's website is more than just an online presence. It's a powerful tool for mobilizing your supporters, increasing your donations, and amplifying your impact. Now, if you found this guide helpful, hit the like button. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I would love to help you create a site that furthers your mission and brings your nonprofit to the next level. Thanks for watching.